Hello everyone, today is about volume. So, we are talking about volume today. Firstly, open your book, page 669, lesson 11.6. Okay, let's understand what the meaning of volume. Okay, here, volume is the measure of the amount of space a solid figure occupies, and it measured in cubic units. Okay, so as we learned before, in our unit cube or cubic unit equal one length unit each age. So we have here this 1 and this 2, 3, 4. So we have here 4 units. As you see here, we have 4 cubic units. Okay, and the same here. So this figure, this three-dimensional figure, consists of two rows. The first row consists of 4 cubic units, and the second row equal 4 cubic units. So add them together, it will be 8 unit cubes. So the volume of this figure all equal 8 cubic units. So that's about volume. So if you want to get the volume of any solid figure, you have to count the number of cubic units. According to this number of cubic units, we can get the volume of this solid figure. Okay, let's move to the next one. Here, now we want to get the volume of how many cubic units can be filled with this box. Okay, firstly, we have here how many centimeter cubes make up the length of the first layer. Okay, so we have here how many centimeter cubes. So each equal 1 centimeter. Okay, so we are going to measure it with centimeter cubes. Okay, make up the length of the first layer. Okay, the width and the height. So we asking about length, and let's change the color, width here, and we have height is 1, only 1, because the height here is 1. There's a length, okay, and this the width. We have here this length and this width, and this one is height. So we have 3 dimensions here: length, width, height. If you want to get the volume of any solid figure, you have to multiply these 3 dimensions by each other. So we have here length equal 5, because we have here 5 cubic units, and we have here also 5 cubic units, and the height is 1, because the height of one layer equal 1 cubic unit. So we have here 5 cubic units, or 5 units as length, as 5 units as width, and 1 unit as height. Okay, how many centimeter cubes are used to fill the base. So how many centimeter cubes in this base? So it's 25, because if we want to get the volume of this layer, you have to multiply the 3 dimensions by each other. So we have 3 dimensions, we have 5 and 5, and we have here 1 as height. So it will be 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1. This length multiplied by this length multiplied by width multiplied by height. The 3 dimensions that we studied before in any solid figure. Okay, there's about 1 layer. Okay, we want to get, if we have number of layers above each other, let's say we have 5 layers. Okay, so we have here how many centimeter cubes are in each layer. We have 25. Okay, because the base is 25, so if we want to put some layers above it, it will be congruent to the base, the same height and the same length and the same width. Okay, so how many layers of cubes fill the rectangular prism that we're going to put inside this box? The box is in the form of rectangular prism. Okay, so we want to fill it with 5 layers. After that, how many centimeter cubes fill the prism? Okay, so all you have to do, you multiply them together to get the volume of whole rectangular prism. So the volume of the rectangular prism equals 125 cubic centimeter. Okay, this about how to understand the volume. Okay, now let's move to our examples. Okay, I want you to skip the next page and move the page after it. So we are here, open page 671. We are in page 671 now. Okay. Okay. He asked you to use the unit given, find the volume. So he asking about the volume here. So he asking about the volume. Now, if we want the volume, as we know that if we want the volume equal general formula. Write it here. Write with me. Copy this with me. Volume equal length times width times height. So this is the general formula. Okay, write it here. So volume equal length times width times height. Okay. So where is the length here and width and height? Okay, we have here this and this and this. We have here this length, this width, and this height. Okay, if you want to get the volume of this solid figure, you have to multiply the 3 dimensions by each other. So you have length multiplied by width multiplied by height. Multiply them together, so it will be 4. Okay, you have to copy this with me. You have to copy the steps. 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3, because length equal 4, so we put 4 here, and width 4 and height 3. So multiply them together. 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3. 4 multiplied by 4 equals 16. Multiplied by 3 equal 48. Cubic what? Cubic centimeter, because the measure is here with centimeter. So you have to write it with cubic centimeter. Okay, the next one, the same thing. You have to determine the length and width and height to multiply them together. We have the 3 dimension as we see here, this length and this width and this height. So multiply them together. 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 4. 3 multiplied by 2 equals 6. 6 multiplied by 4 equal 24. 24 what? You have to write the unit, the cubic unit that we have here. But the length unit here equal inch. So you have to put the answer with cubic inch. Not cubic centimeter, not cubic meter. According to the length or the unit length that we use here. The unit length is inch here. So you have to write the cubic inch, not cubic centimeter or cubic meter. So you have to use the same unit that he used it here. Okay, the next one, the same here. We have 3 dimensions, length, width, height. So this is the length and this width and this height, and we want to get the volume. The volume equal what? Length times width times height. So it will be 6 times 2 times 3. Write the steps with me, guys, okay? So 6 multiplied by 2 equals 12 multiplied by 3 equals 36. 36 what? We are measuring here the dimensions with feet. So we are going to use cubic feet. So it will be cubic, CU for cubic, this for cubic. Okay, cubic feet. Okay, the next one. We have the 3 dimensions, 5 inches, 4 inches, and 3 inches. And we want to get the volume of this solid figure. We have length, width, height. So we are going to multiply the 3 dimensions by each other to get the volume. So it will be 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 5. Okay, we can start with 5 or we can start with 3. It's the same because multiplication is commutative property. So we can multiply it in order or without order, because 3 multiplied by 4 is the same thing 4 multiplied by 3. So we get the same answer, 3 multiplied by 4 by 5 or 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. In the same order or different order, we have the same answer, which is 60. So that volume is 60 cubic what? Cubic inches, because we have here inch in our problem. Okay, now he asking me here to compare the volumes by using greater than, smaller than, or equal. Okay, firstly you have to get the volume of each figure and then write it here and then compare between the numbers. Firstly, we have here 8 inches, 2 inches, and 2 inches here. So we have length, width, height. Okay, so we are going to multiply them together to get the volume of this one. So 8 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So it will be 32 equal 32. What about this? We have 4 inches and 4 inches and 2 inches. And we want to get the volume of this solid figure. So you have to multiply. We have length, width, height, and we want to multiply them together. So it will be 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 2. It will be also 32. So we have here 32 and in the opposite side we have the same number. We have in this side 32, in the other side 32, so it will be equal. So write 32 here and 32 here, and compare between the two numbers, it will be equal to each other. Okay, let's move to the next example. We have here number 6. Here we have 9 feet, 9 feet and 3 feet, 9 feet, 4 feet and 3 feet. Okay, so we have length, width, height. So we write here length, and we have here width, and we have here height. If you want to get the volume, what we're going to do, of course, we're going to multiply the 3 dimensions by each other. So it will be 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 9. So it will be 108. The next one, 8 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 2. So multiply them together, it will be here length and width and height. 8 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 2. Here we are going to have 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 9 equal 108, and here it will be 80. So we have 108 here and we have 80 here. So of course 108 is greater than 80. So this about our lesson today. It's very easy to understand it. As we studied before, the solid figure have 3 dimensions: length, width, height. To get the volume of any solid figure, you have to multiply these 3 dimensions by each other to get the volume. And if you have any problem with this lesson, you can ask me now by type your question in the chat room and I will answer you. Okay? Thank you guys.